and welcome. I'm Katrina Pratt Roebuck, and I'm the founder and CEO of Uplifme. And Uplifme is a national resource hub that showcases the great work of organizations across the country. And particularly today, I have with me Nyne Sellers, the president and CEO of Launch of Philadelphia. So, Nyne, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Yay! I'm excited to interview you. So, let's start with you telling us about what Launch of Philadelphia does.
I am so happy you asked. One of my most favorite things to do is to talk about this work. So, Launch of Philadelphia started with we started as Communities and Schools of Philadelphia, still our legal name, but we are an organization that's been in the city for 39 years,
Oh,
about to
wow.
celebrate our 40th anniversary. And we have core programs. One is our first program that we've had since 1994. The state asked the organization to help support pregnant and parenting students. And so, we
Okay.
now have a partnership with the school district of Philadelphia that we've had since 1994, working with pregnant and parenting students, males and females, middle and high school, really supporting them, case managing them through graduation or their next step. Then we have an after school, out of school time program. We are a part of the mayor's EDEY, where we have long standing relationships in North Philadelphia, TM Pierce and William Dick. We have the Urban Technology Project that we've had in partnership also with the School District of Philadelphia since 2002. That is a workforce development apprenticeship where the school district and Launch of Philadelphia works together, where there are 84 apprentices and pre-apprentices, 24. We pay them, they're paid. Pre-apprentices, $24,000 a year. Apprentices,
Oh, wow.
4,000
That's amazing.
to 60,000 for the apprentices for 3 years. We pay for their medical, their vision, their dental, and 3% into their retirement. So it really is
Oh,
a
my
solid
goodness.
IT apprenticeship. And then
Wow.
we have we are working on an apprenticeship in AI, similar to what we did 24 or 5 years ago with the school district. We are now working with the state, an apprenticeship in AI, because this is the new thing. And so we're working with
Right.
the state to help the state develop a registered apprenticeship. And then finally, we have a program of middle school students in Southwest Philadelphia that we help. They've been directly impacted by gun violence. So unfortunately,
Mhm.
that's their experience. But when they come into our building, they are cooking, they're practicing yoga, they're STEM
Mhm.
work, they are working out with mobility fitness. We have partners all over the city. And so we are really, last night they went to a restaurant school. And so we are really teaching them to cook, bringing their families in. They're cooking for their families. They're having an event tonight and around holidays, and opportunities for the students to be able to give back, maybe to their parents, maybe to a grandparent, to anyone. And that is what Launch of Philadelphia does, really making sure that we are surrounding and supporting our community. And one other thing I want to say about the apprentices, we are serving folks from 18 to 55. So our apprentices are
Wow.
adults. They're not only children. The pre-apprentices are 18 to 24, but our apprentices, they are coming to us from food service, from home, adults who have never really had experience in the workforce, and they're coming to us learning technical skills, whether that's fixing Chromebooks at the school district,
Mhm.
Google certifications, or CompTIA. I
Mhm.
mean, the range is whatever is of interest to the apprentice. And so that's what we do, and I'm so happy to be here. We're
So
serving.
that is amazing. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Say what you just said. I cut.
Just for
Interrupt.
context, we are
Yeah.
directly serving around 6,000 and indirectly around 36,000 young people in 85 schools in the school district. So,
Every year.
every year. I mean, it used to be more. We used to serve more than that. We had more programs. And at one point, communities and schools was roughly, yeah, really around, with the documents that I look at, it was probably around 80,000 students a year. Yeah.
That is incredible. That is incredible. And one of the and what I love about these interviews is finding out this incredible body of work that so many organizations are doing across the city. And so I feel like I have 1,000 questions I want to ask you like all at once. And so I think the first question I'm going to ask you, so the apprenticeships, the pre-apprenticeships, the apprenticeships, I would have thought just like other folks watching this probably that it would be students and you're saying you could go up to 55 years old. That's incredible. Can you talk about how people, who qualifies for an apprenticeship or a pre-apprenticeship and how do they connect with Launch of
That is
Philadelphia
a
to apply?
perfect question. Interestingly, so pre-apprentices, there's a lot of recruitment that happens in school district schools. There's CTE
Okay.
programs. There's some, and so the pre-apprentices, they start off really having exposure and experience because this is in partnership, the school district, the programming, they are saying to students, if you're interested in tech, here's an opportunity. So some
Okay.
are students and they do fold into it. Now with the apprentices, up until 2020, we only had up to 24 years old, 18 or 24. And
Okay.
myself and the executive director, during COVID, we started getting folks who were in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s. And they said,
Mm,
I want to learn about this. One standout is a woman who's in her 50s. At the time, she
mm,
was older than I was. When she came in her mid 50s, she had been she was a stay at home mom. She had then been a caregiver for her father, then a caregiver for her mother. And then she's 50 years old. And she said, I have no career, no work experience. She's at the
mm,
school district learning how
mm,
to repair Chromebooks, fix them. And we also pay for their training. And so the apprenticeship is 3 years. So we pay for their training. Now, how do people find us? Mostly
yeah.
word of mouth. There is recruitment, every year, um, every now and then there's a lot of recruitment where we're going out to job fairs and things like that.
Mm,
Sometimes there's Google advertisements. I will say that because we've been doing it consistently and because the salaries are consistent in terms of how we execute, it does become very competitive. People want
okay.
to come in, they want to come in and say, I want to do tech, but there is a very important interview process that happens because each apprentice is housed at a site, at a school. And the
Okay. So they work
school
in the schools.
they
Okay.
work in the schools and they
Okay.
work a regular school day, which means they have to understand school culture. They have to be respectful of school culture. They have to be able
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
interact with school folk. And so there's a rigorous training process, but we also, in partnership, we look for money, we pay for the most industry recognized credentials. So when those apprentices are
Mm,
ready to go into the workforce, they have the most competitive skills that any student from any university would have. And they're equally as trained and they have work experience. And so there becomes a very high success rate for individuals getting jobs. And some of them, they don't even have to get jobs. They go into business for themselves because they're like, I've got the skill. I can fix computers. I can repair computers. I can work the back end of your user system. I can handle it. I can game design. I can do gamification. I can make an app. I can do
wow.
anything. And they do. And they do.
Wow.
And so there
Wow.
are neighbors in Philadelphia that whose families they may not have had the opportunity to go to college. Like I'm fortunate,
Mhm.
it was a part of my life, and for 20 years I really was about like everyone going to college. And then when I came into leadership in this role, I found there is an opportunity for everyone to be a part of our community. And so it really
Mhm.
engages, and that's what I love about it, that,
Mhm.
we don't have any barriers. Now, barrier to entry is there needs to be some technical skill because when you go to the school, they want to know that if you're going to be doing a Google training certification or CompTIA, that you will see it through and then you will
Mhm.
implement.
Okay.
We're
Okay.
raising money to pay for this stuff, and those technical certifications, they're like $2,000 up to.
Right. Right. So can you, so I don't know if you explained it and I didn't catch it clearly. I know that you're in 85 schools, you do recruitment and training, but if someone just wants to access your program, do they have to be in the school or go through the school or do they come to your website? Like how do they actually, if someone's watching this today and
Right
wants
now.
to access, right, a certification course, how could they do that?
So if they wanted to, okay, so certification is different, but if they wanted
Oh,
to
I'm
get
sorry, apprenticeship. I'm sorry.
if they
Yeah,
want it,
apprenticeship.
so two things. One, if they want to do the existing apprenticeship that we've had for 25 years, we usually send them to the school district website, the Urban
Oh,
Technology
okay.
Project, UTP. My partner,
Okay.
Shayna Savage, she is the executive director. You know Shayna. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we send them to the UTP website. They can come to our
Okay.
website, but everything happens on that end. What we do is we
Got it.
hire the apprentices. So they're on my payroll. I'm the Launch of Philadelphia serves as the fiscal agent and HR. So we do the hiring, we do the paying,
Got it.
and then we
Got it.
partner. It is a true partnership. So that's the first thing. The other one, the other apprenticeship, we are in the early stages of it. We're looking for an employer partner. Hello, anyone out there who's willing to accept one apprentice. Now, in previous years, you were able to start a registered apprenticeship with one employer partner, but now the state is getting wise because they want apprentices to be a part. This is something that every presidential administration is considering. I know Governor Shapiro cares about it a lot. How do we really strengthen our workforce? And so one of
Mm,
the things that they're saying is we want a couple of employer partners to be able to take apprentices. So if one can't hire, the other one will. And the real goal is to get technologists from all walks of life
mm-hmm,
into the tech space because there are
mm-hmm.
actual family sustaining wages in tech.
Right. Right.
And
Right. Absolutely.
it's vast. So it's not, there's not a dead end to it.
Right. And so, does Launch of Philadelphia, if you are partnering with an employer, do you all pay the salary, the benefits, and the employer gets to have that expertise join them
Yes.
without the
Yes.
cost? So that's an incredible
Well, the
resource for
employer
employers.
pays. It's 50-50. So for our
Okay,
for
so
our
it's
new
50-50. Okay, got
apprenticeship,
it.
we
Okay,
we raise money through the
okay.
state to be able to hire, and then their skin in the game is they'll pay for half
Okay, okay.
or whole, depending on which apprentice. They'll either pay for half or whole of the apprentice.
Okay.
But yes, the risk is on Launch of Philadelphia, so the employer doesn't have to deal with if things don't work out. We're kind of
Hmm.
there
Hmm.
don't work out. But if they do work out, then it's great. And folks are going and they're going into the marketplace, not in just schools, but they're going into individual private companies and they're being hired and they have very, 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 very successful careers. All the way up to
That's wonderful.
we have alumni who have been chief technology officers at Cheney University. We have we have graduates who are in the district. We have graduates that are in the Pentagon. We have graduates that have
Wow.
really, I mean, because it's been over 20 years. And so tech wasn't always something that was accessible to a lot of folks in Philadelphia. I mean, there was always Drexel, and there's the Drexel, there's the Penn, there's the Temple, there's always that population. But our population really is much more diverse and really looks like the neighborhood and the neighborhoods in Philadelphia.
So I asked how folks can access the programs, but who qualifies? What are the eligibility criteria for the apprenticeships?
A willingness to learn, a commitment, a willingness.
Mhm.
Some of them, now for the pre-apprentice, they don't have to have any technical skills. Typically for the apprenticeship and the registered one, they would need to have one or two technical skill, some way to say that I'm really interested in tech. It is a
Okay.
job. It is a job and it is an entry level job, but we
Mm,
want a spark to be there. And some folks, they
mm,
say, you know what, I realize I don't want to do tech. I really want to talk to people. And that's okay. Like,
mhm,
we're
mhm.
okay with that because it's like an opportunity to get training, get certification. It is tough. It can be tough because technical certifications, they're not as flexible as a teacher in the classroom. You know what I mean? There's
Mm, mm,
give and
mm.
take. It's like the SAT, there are standards that you must adhere to. And some individuals say, you know what, I don't like it, or maybe I'll come back to it. But that's okay. We're okay with that because we feel like, again, we're contributing overall to the landscape of the city and the region.
And I love that you're with people for years. I think that is so important, and folks might not always think about how important that is. It takes years to develop skills, and you need that support system to be able to do well. A year and 2 years, sometimes it's just not enough. I always equate to my life circumstances how much support I've had for years. And a lot of times with vulnerable populations, we expect people to get their whole lives together in 12 months, right? So I really appreciate that you guys are sticking with folks for years. Can you talk about you mentioned so many good things. I honed right in on the apprenticeships, but I heard you speak about OST and the parenting program. Can you talk a little bit about perhaps some things that folks might not know that you guys do that you want people, that you want the public to know about Launch of Philadelphia?
I mean, I think, thank you for asking that question. I think that one of the things that is really, really important to know about the organization and the people who work with us is that of, we have a phenomenal group of staff that care about really seeing progress in the people that they're serving. So that's the first thing. We have staff, honestly, since 1994. My program staff, 2007, 2000. I mean, I have been in
Yeah,
this work since 2000, and I love that because it really shows the commitment. And there really is
yeah.
not. It's not like it's a very lucrative career,
Mm,
but
mhm,
the people that are doing the work and the service, they really mean it. And that's the part that I love. That brings me to work,
mhm,
working with people that are really, really about making a difference in the lives. So that's one thing that people may not know. But the other thing that I'm really pleased, and I was a little nervous about it, but we're in Southwest Philadelphia. And the fact that we have just started this program that is interrupting gun violence prevention and intervention. And
mhm,
when we wrote this grant, we wrote it for a 10-year impact. We said that if we
mm,
with students in 2024 and 2025, that if the state is able to track them, they will see that in 2034 and 2035, when they're 21 and 22 and 23 years old, they will be a contributing member of our community. They will be cooking, they will be fixing, they will be in tech, they will be doing something productive, because these vulnerable years where, we already know that they've been exposed to something, but these vulnerable years, they're going to be able to find their voice and find their way. And so that is something that I've never done. Typically, we worked, directly with a problem right here, right now.
right,
And
right, right.
we are saying we want to invest, and we're happy that the state has agreed to allow us to do this. And I know this is happening all over, but we really do want to interrupt the violence. We want to interrupt the state of our city and our community, where we can
Mhm,
uplift people, and our members of our neighbors can contribute, and they know that
yeah.
they can, and that's
Yes,
important.
yes,
They can
yes,
contribute, they have some value.
absolutely.
And
Right.
so we're starting in middle school for a 10-year goal. And so that's a new space for me, but I'm really proud of the people who are working in this, because
Mhm.
I'm proud of those folks, and I'm proud of these young people. And so I'm really thankful. 'Tis the season
I
of gratitude.
Yeah, no, I love this strategic and long-term investment that you're putting into folks so that they can survive and thrive at some point. I really, really am encouraged to hear that, and encouraged to hear that the state is supporting that type of effort. I don't think can be understated how important it is to make long-term investments in folks, right? Because everybody can contribute. How can people support Launch of Philadelphia?
Wow. Thank you for saying that. I think what people can do is they can pray for us. I accept prayers every day. I accept prayers every day, but visit our website, communicate
Mhm,
with us on social media. I'm not
mhm,
a big social media person, just because I think maybe my age or generation, and I want to do it, but they can support our work through finding out who we are, and sharing that mission if they know that someone can really help us, because we want help, and we need support, because obviously if there are thousands and thousands of individuals in the city, we want to partner. We love partnerships. We love
mhm,
partnerships because there is enough love and enough service to go around. So I think the biggest thing I like is partnerships, and reaching out to us and following us on social media, and just checking in and giving feedback, positive feedback or negative feedback. I'm big on feedback because I want us
mhm,
to do better. We are into data collection, and if anyone wants to volunteer, please let us know, because we are always trying to improve the quality of our services and the
mhm,
quality
mhm,
of me, for me, really, the staff that we're serving. I think the staff and the people who are doing the work day to day, the love that they have, it
mhm.
cannot be understated.
Yeah. Well, if you're not going to say it, I'm going to say it. I'm going to also say donate because you said you're raising funds for these apprenticeships and these long-term investments in folks. And so I think, folks knowing what you do and how it's being directed, it can't get any better than that in terms of the impact of how
Yeah.
you direct your resources. So I'm going to say to donate to Launch of Philadelphia. And I want to thank you so much, Nyne, for your commitment and your passion around this work and the work that you guys are doing.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you for being here, Nyne. Take care.
Bye bye.